Hello and welcome to another video. This time I'll attempt a playthrough of the game Gettysburg by Herman from the issue 32 of the C3i Magazine, C3i series volume 1. From 2018, light introductory war game in the vein of Napoleon at War, per the designer's intention. It's about the Battle of Gettysburg. Without much further ado, I'll quickly show the initial setup, which is taken from the rules. So the rules state that the two HQs, so the Army of Northern Virginia generally here for the Confederates, and Meade's Army of the Potomac may be placed there. There are other possible places where you can put, but I chosen to use the suggestion in the rulebook. Well, I've already placed the HQs, even though it's of course the first thing you have to do. The sequence of play states that you have a command phase. When you place HQs, then return blown units, units that receive a blown result in combat. That's not the case yet. Then Brandon's sharpshooters, which is a marker, a zone of control marker in 1 hex, but it arrives only on turn 3, and then it is placed on turn 4, 5, and then 6. So it's not the case. Then the organization phase, march formation, battle formation, exiting zones of control, movement phase, attack phase, and end phase. So this is the sequence of play. Placing HQs is the first one. I've already did that over there. So low counter density game with a small map, but highly functional. I really like the map of Gettysburg and and its vicinity. Then we have another set of counters over here. These are reinforcements. The first turn 1 reinforcements are over here on the L hex and K hex. So we have Union reinforcements on turn 1 only. We have Confederate unit from the 3rd Corps right here, so it's a hat unit, and we have a Confederate unit, a cavalry unit, Buford's cavalry division, I presume, over there. Over here we have I separated the counters for the turn of arrival. So we have the second turn Union and Confederate, then third turn, then fourth, and then fifth. So we have very hefty column of Confederate reinforcements on turn 2, then a moderate one on turn 3, no reinforcements on turn 4, and then 2 on 2 divisions. I believe it's divisions on turn 5. Then the Brandon sharpshooter marker. This is a marker, not a unit. These are units. They have two sides, a marching side, a marching formation with the 4 movement points on it, and then we have the battle formation with only one with only one movement point on that side. Then we have another element. Some of the units, both Union and Confederate, The Confederates, of course, are in this brownish color, and the Unions um, units are blue. Some of them have stars, so each star accounts for a +1 in combat. You see, we have here the McClaw's division from Longstreet's corps. I believe, I'm not, yes, we have here we have the corps name is on the back, on the battle side, with white, Hill's corps. Third corps is Hill's corps, and the same on the Union counters, but they don't have focus. They don't have the corps commander's name on the back, which is odd. Okay, so these are units. These are markers, like the turn marker and the artillery support markers. The Confederates start with 11 artillery support points, and the Confederates and the Union with 14 artillery points. Then we have artillery support cheats, support and no support. These are used unbeknownst of the opponent, but since I'm playing this solitaire, I won't be using them very much. Then we have a move attacks remaining marker, because once you pass in movement or in attack, the opponent can make a number of attacks or moves, and then for the ease of remembering it, you can place this on the track and keep count of that. I'm using 2 larger size dice. I didn't find a gray dice of equal size to the blue one, so I'm using a brown one, but since these are sort of brownish counters and not really gray, so maybe a gray brown or something, I don't know. I thought that it would fit. So these are the components. We have a player aid summary, a player aid with summaries, which I'll be using greatly. Well, of course, the player aid is on the back of the rule book as well, but I'm still using the rule book to flip through when I don't remember well the actual rules. So there are very few rules, but as usual, my moronic nature made me forget or misinterpret a few key rules in my process of learning this game. I have, I don't know, 4 or 5 games under my belt now, but I'm sure I'll be screwing up the rules as well. So bear with me. Sorry for that in advance. So yeah, let's see. So we have the placing of HQs. It's already the HQs are already placed. The HQs have some ranges. The Army of the North Virginia has 8 range of 8. So you have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So its range goes about. So this is about the limit of its range. The Army of the Potomac has only 6 as a range, so it extends only to 6 axes. So this is important for the units because you have to be, your side has to have the units within the range of the HQ. If it doesn't, you have to march towards the to re-enter the range. So it's important for positioning of the units and the direction of attack and stuff like that. So, well, we have game turn 1. The HQs are placed. Blown units there are no blown units yet, so we can skip that. Bird and sharpshooters don't arrive yet because it's only turn 1. We have 6 turns: July the 1st AM, July the 1st PM, and then July the 2nd with morning and afternoon, and then July the 3rd. So we have, of course, 3 days at Gettysburg from July the 1st to July the 3rd. 1863, I believe. Yes. So we have blown units. Branded sharpshooters are not arriving, so we go to organization phase. We have to flip to march formations the unit counters that are in fighting formations that are not in the zone of control or zone of influence of an enemy unit. Now the zone of control is represented by, of course, the traditional 6 hexes around the unit. This is the zone of control. The zone of influence, or how I jokingly refer to it, the aircraft zone of control, the AZOC from Empire of the Sun, Mark Herman's Empire of the Sun. So we have these out there, the second hex from the unit. Every hex that is the two hexes away from the unit, two hexes away. The second hex, so if the first hex is zone of control, the second hex is zone of influence. Every hex, every one of these hexes is the zone of influence of the unit. So the zone of influence, well, influences the movement and other stuff, because you have to stop, or a unit has to stop when entering the zone of influence and flip to battle mode, and you'll see. So we have march formation. If you start the game in battle formation and you're not in the zone of influence of an enemy unit, you will flip back to march formation. That's not the case. Everyone is in march formation. Then battle formation. You have to flip to battle formation if it's let's see, that each unit that is in an enemy zone of control or influence remains or is flipped to its battle formation. Well, that's not the case, so we can skip that. Then exiting zone of control. You can exit. You can make a sort of retreat. You can, if you are in an enemy zone of control, then you conduct a retreat, which means go 2 hexes. Oh no, 3 hexes, I believe. Let's see. Oh yes, 3 hexes away from the winner and other stuff. So that's not the case. We have movement phase now, starting with the Confederate player and alternating with the Union player. Everyone moves 1 unit. So now, before that, I should talk about the victory conditions a bit. Well, we have a sudden death victory condition, sort of, which is if there is a line, an open line from a road line, because it gave me a little bit of headache. The first time I played this game, I misinterpreted the rules. I thought it was any line, but no, it's a road line. So we have a road line going through from A through, of course, Gettysburg to I, J, and K. So if at the end of any turn this line is not affected by any union units, any combination of that line, so it can be I, J and K. If it's not covered by Union troops, that is, if there is no Union troop on that line of communication, so on that road, on one of those roads, and no part of this line is in a Union zone of control, then the Confederates automatically win at the end of that turn, because that's the main reason for invading the north, for fighting this battle, invading the north. So it's a stopping operation from the Union part. But if this is not the case, so nothing of that sort happens on any of the ends of turn, then at the after the end of the last turn, you count victory points, and who has more victory points wins. And victory points are basically each destroyed unit counts as enemy destroyed unit counts as a victory point. So who destroys more units? If the Confederates cannot clear the lines of communication, one of these roads, one of these lines, then it's all about destroy units. So this means that crossroads like these, so points like these, so this and this are highly important, but of course mainly these points are vital for the protection of these lines. Well, of course, the lines themselves are important, but those choke points are of paramount importance among the others. So these affects the way units behave, or what can they do. The Confederates, I suppose, of course this is all my I don't know, conjectures, or maybe more than that, consequences of experimenting with this system. The Confederates must push on to Gettysburg, and the Union has to slow them down to execute some stopping motions. Well, what we have here is a Confederate turn. Of course, his division has to, I believe it's division, so they are more knowledgeable person about this conflict over there. Sure, clearly, and that's not an issue. I'm not doubting it. I'm certain of it. So if I make historical of or mistakes of any nature, but mostly historical, bear with me. I only relatively recently, took up interest in this conflict, and my knowledge of it is let's say incomplete is an understatement. So we have his division from Hill's Corps. It moves on the road, tries to push on. Well, of course, arrives in the zone of influence, and it's flipped over to the battle side. So now it's the Union's turn to move. The Union units, well, I could move Buford's cavalry, but the rules say that you have to bring on the map units first. So we have to bring Reynolds Corps, and so Reynolds' First Corps and Howard's 11th Corps. So we have Reynolds first. We have 4 movement points. There is a rule that says if you move, if the movement is exclusively over a road, you pay half of movement point for each hex. So whereas you can move 4 hexes in clear terrain or defensible terrain, these are defensible terrain, this is clear terrain, and Gettysburg is clear terrain, or open terrain, not clear. I've been reading no retreat rule system. Yeah, clear over there. It's open terrain, so this is open terrain. And this is defensible, hilly type of terrain. So whereas if you move on non-road terrain, you can move 4 hexes because each hex costs 1. If you move along the road, you can move twice as much. Oh, exclusively around the road. You can't combine road movement and I don't know, off-road movement. So you have 4 hexes, 4 movement points that can then if we move around the road, you can move 8 hexes. So we have 1 point, 2 points, 3 points, and we have 4 points over here. Then Heath or Hath will move closer. You can move 1, but then you have to completely stop. You can move if you enter. If you move from zone of influence to zone of influence, you will cease of movement after that movement. You can move 1 hex, and the same goes to zone of influence to zone of control. You have entered the zone of control of Buford, and that's that. And if someone if you find yourself in the zone of control of unit, you automatically flip to battle formation, so Buford cannot move. It's held in place now, so both units hold each other in place now, so both are in battle formation or battle or attack formation or battle formation. Okay, now that concludes the Confederate part of this leg of movement, and then we have to go over here. We have the Howard's Corps as well. If we use the road system, we have 1, 2, 3, and 4 points. 1, 2, 3, and 4 points. So that's that. Now there's no movement possible with any Confederate units, so Confederates pass. That means that we can tally the number of units which are not the opposing units which are not in enemy zone of influence. We have 2, and we roll a die and add that number. We have 3, so we have 12 plus 1, 3 movement, 3 moves left. You can use the move remaining sheet or a marker. So well, we can use road movement, so you can use 2 units and then 1 can move again, or you can make 3 moves with another unit, as far as I can see. So we can use I think it's vital to use the Reynolds score because it has 2 stars, so you have it adds plus 2 to any attack or defense, so it's more important to bring that to the front. And let's see, you cannot stack units, friendly or otherwise, in 1 hex, so that will be one thing to take into account. And we'll have to see if we can bring them here. You have to watch out for retreating as well, you have to let some space for your units in case they retreat, because if they cannot retreat the number of hexes, well, the second hex can be if a second hex is a defensible terrain hex, you can stop your retreat over there. So, but if it's not, you have to move 3 hexes away. These are not units, so you can stack with them unit. But if it's another unit, enemy or a friendly unit in the way, the unit is eliminated. The retreating unit is eliminated, so we have to take that into account as well. So we have Reynolds. You can have 1, 2, 3, and 4. We can arrive to that location, but you can't do very much in there. It's not a defensible. Well, you can. Let's see. So we have to move something. We'll move Reynolds further. We have 1, 2, 3 road for the road movement, and then perhaps we'll move over here so we can defend. You control. You have the zone of control. You have the road in your zone of control, so maybe that. Well, of course, Buford could very well win the common battle, because there will be a battle here, or maybe we can move Reynolds over here to help in some sort. We'll see. So that's the first of the 3 movements. Then maybe Howard is on the road again, and have 1, 2, maybe over here, 2, and maybe 3. Oh, if Buford retreats, we could lose Buford if I put him there. Well, the most important thing for the Union is to hold the line and then inflict as much casualties to the Confederates, and that is possible if you it is possible. It's more likely if you take defensive positions into defensive terrain, because defensive terrain gives you +2 in defensive defensible terrain. Sorry, that's the name. Well, we'll stop here for the moment. Maybe it's excessively prudent from my side, but hey, let's see. So we have another movement left before the movement phase is over, from the Union side, and now we have we can use if we move here, we have to stop. So we can move 2 hexes and we have to stop because it's in the zone of influence of Heth's division. And even if well, Buford can win the engagement, in which case it's okay, it can be repulsed, so you have to retreat, and it has ample road to retreat. And then another battle will ensue, because he can advance after combat and arrive in this hex's zone of control, so that will be in this hex's zone of control, and we have good defensive positions for Reynolds. We'll see. So let's do this, and when he arrives here, it is flipped in on the battle formation side. So that's about it. Then we have no moves left, and we move to attack phase. Now every we have the each side can voluntarily designate one unit that is in an enemy zone of control to attack. So attacks are voluntary. Unlike other war games, there's no limit to the number of attacks one unit can make. Of course, there are alternative, so players alternate starting with the Confederate player. So, well, of course, Confederates need to clear the road, so I believe it's in order to attack, even though it will be very hard to dislodge Buford's cavalry from this place, because it's in defensible terrain. You have a +2 defensible terrain advantage, and Buford has 1 star, so it's a +1. It's a +3 for defense, but the Confederates will use 1 artillery support point, and there's no artillery duel here because cavalry units cannot use artillery support, and artillery support works in a very nice and neat way. Both sides decide if they use support or not, and they hide the cheat in their palm. Well, of course, I won't be doing this because I'm playing both sides, but whether you use artillery support or no support, and then simultaneously you show what you have chosen. Both use artillery support, then there is a die roll, and the higher one wins. If it's a tie, nobody uses artillery support, but everyone has expended already an artillery point, so if you have no 0 points, you can't use that. And then if someone rolls a 6, even if it's a tie, then the other, like this, the other, so in this case the Union player would have lost another artillery point, because it's considered as exploding caissons. Exploding artillery caissons. It's like one of the artillery pieces or whatever exploded. And then there's another point spent this time by the opponent. So cavalry cannot use artillery support, so it's automatically +2 for the Confederates. So we have +2, +3, and then we have everyone rolls a die and attaches that modifier to the die roll, and we have adds, not attach, adds. So we have 1 plus. So we have you had 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 plus 1 is 4, so it's 3 to 4 for the Union player, and then we see 3 plus 4, so 3 minus 4 is -1, so it's a 1 difference, +1 difference actually to the Union player, and you cross-reference that to the attack table. +1 to +2, it's a retreat, and then if it cannot meet all condition, it's a blown result. So Hath can retreat, must retreat 3 hexes, and it has to be each hex farther away from the unit. Now that means you can well, I've interpreted this rule in a way that in this situation, I believe, because you're 1 hex away from Buford, 2 hex away from Buford, and then you are either way you put it 3 hex away from Buford here. So I've interpreted as a possible zone of retreat, this one, because it's still farther away then it's the same distance as you have done it straight in this line. Well, I'm not sure if I'm really correct about this, but this way you can save this unit from exiting the map. Of course, you can't exit the map, and then you'll have to use it as a blown result. This hex is still 3 hexes away from this unit. Well, of course, we have the retreat move unit 3 hexes away from the winner. The retreating unit may never enter a hex with another friendly enemy unit if the second hex entered is a defensible terrain, which is, so this is the second hex. So we have the first hex entered, then the second hex. This is the second hex entered. It's defensible, and the unit can move there. It's still 3 hexes away from the winner, so it's you can stop there. Each hex of the retreat must be farther away from the enemy unit. So it's if we move, if the unit moves, so it's here. It's 2 hexes away and then 3 hexes away. It's still farther. It's the same distance as if it was this hex here and then this hex here. So these two are the same distance from that, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I believe it's a good not a good move. It's an acceptable move to end the movement here on this defensible piece of terrain. Okay, or it's beyond the range of the HQ, the retreat becomes an immediately blown. It's not the case. It's in the range of the HQ, and it's in defensible terrain, so it's okay. Being that it was an attack from the Confederate side, the defender cannot move after attack, so cannot move in that hex. If it was the other way around, it would have been possible. So this is the first and the only battle in this phase, and then we can move to end phase. End phase means that after both players have passed in attack phase, the turn is over. If it's turn 6, the turn is the winner. So we move to game turn 2, and then we have we have to remove the HQs beginning with the Confederates and place them within 3 hexes of a unit that is not in the enemy zone of control or influence. So we can put we have this area around here. This is not possible. So we have this corner on the map, and we can as well these 3 hexes. These are not allowed. So we could put them here, but we will have units coming from the other side over there, and I think it's best if we leave the HQ over there, and of course Meade's HQ can very well rest over there, so it counts as if I removed and put them back in the exact position, same position, for now at least. And then we have returning blown units we don't have, burden sharpshooters, not the case, march formation. So if we have units that are not in the zone of influence of enemy units, we can flip them back to march formation, which is the case to all of these units. And then the Confederates move first. Of course, they have units off map, and that's the first thing that they'll have to bring in before moving other units. So we have Pender's division from Hill's Corps that is will arrive in turn 2 at A1. So this is the first unit to enter, then A1, that means we have A2. So they move from the A position, and the first one to enter is this one. So we have to move it first, finish the movement, and then move to the other one. This is already in the zone of influence of this unit, so the movement stops here. Then we move to the Confederates. Now we could stop them in their track if we move, I don't know, Buford's cavalry over here. But of course we can't do that before, and I'm not sure it's really wise, but we can't do that before making the other units enter, so letting the other units enter. So we have Slocum's Corps and Sickles Corps. One is in the enters through this hex, the I hex. Focus, yes. So the I hex, and then this one, Sickles division, 3rd Corps, enters in the K location. So the K location is over here. We'll see which one to use first. Well, let's go with the K. So we have using road movement, we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then back to the Confederates. We must bring the other units in first. Then we have the Anderson division from Hill's Corps from A, so it can enter here. But of course it can't use road movement because the road is blocked. Can't enter through friendly units. So we have 1, 2, and when it enters this hex, it has to stop and flip to battle formation because it's in the Buford's cavalry zone of influence. And then we move to Slocum's 12th Corps. We will be using road movement as well, so if 1, 2, 3, and 4. That way it doesn't hinder much the movement over here of Sickles division. Let's see. Then we have more Confederate units coming in. This comes in at B. Let's see, 2B. Rhodes Corps from Ewell's. Rhodes division from Ewell's Corps. B is over here. So let's see if we can use much of the road movements for 1, 2, 3, and here you have to flip. Well, maybe not. Maybe we'll stop here in this defensive position over there. And we have created a as the Confederate player created a menace to the back of these units, because now you can't retreat, and if there is a retreat, result in a possible coming attack. This unit is blown in this situation. So we have to deal with that, and for that I'll push everywhere I go. Here the unit will flip on its side. So let's see, we have over here, move over there and flip on battle formation. Then we have another unit which is Jubal Early's division from Ewell's Corps. He comes in from this part. So we have 1, 2, and then there's no defensible terrain here. Let's see. Well, to use, of course I can't move here because I can't 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, it's within range. I can't move here because that's not rule movement, and I cannot combine rule movement. So we have 1, maybe here. If I'm to go for the maximum 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it's within range. Otherwise I would have to use, if I'm to assist roads, which would be better, I have to use 1, 2, 3, 4 and come over here. So we don't use the road movement, and we automatically flip because we're in the zone of influence of Howard's 11th Corps. So this is a Confederate move, and then we have no, we'll have to bring some. So we have 1, maybe we were here. So 1, 2, or maybe before this there's no negation of you can do. Maybe or maybe not. No, we have, this was 1, 2, and then we flip it, because this way we can perhaps, I don't know, put a wedge on these two offensive spikes. I don't know, maybe, we'll see. So it's again the Confederate turn. Well, we could bring them closer or not, or maybe I can bring these closer. So we have it's interesting, there is a bonus for attacking, for non-attacking adjacent friendly units if there are 2 or more. So if we can create a local superiority area around one of the units, then we can we have more chance to dislodge it. So maybe around Buford's cavalry and then around Reynolds, because Reynolds is heavily entrenched here. It has +2 for its 2 stars and +2 for the defensible terrain, and it's not on the road itself, so we have to clear the road, so to speak. So we have we could bring this here. If I put Heath here, it only blocks this, and it blocks Pender's division. So we move here, and it flips on its side and on the battle formation side, and we'll see. Back to the oops, there was an earthquake. Back to the Union. Let's see, we can move Slocum. Let's see where we can move him. It was here, I believe. Oh yes, he was over there. And then we could bring him here, or we can bring him there. Those two are starred formations. The agony of choice. Oh well, see, move him here. I don't know if that's such a good idea, because if we see the reinforcements, our sources, our spies tell us that the next turn reinforcements will come from there and from there. So more reinforcement will come from there, but some reinforcements will come from there as well, and we don't get reinforcements. We get only 1 corps from here, so I can bring them to this area, and we can go over here. Maybe we could do a local superiority with these 3 for against Early's corps. Okay, let's do this. So we have go over here and then flip it. Now we have the Confederate move. Well, we can do Heath, which will make all these flip. I could have moved one of those over there, but I would have lost the higher ground. So Buford's cavalry division or whatnot, I think it's, I don't know if it mentions it. As far as I remember, it's division, but hey, I don't know. It says only Buford cavalry. So. Okay, doesn't mention. Okay, so I'll leave it to the specialists. As far as I know, historically, they were some sort of a stopgap measure to stem the tide of the arrival of the Confederate Third Corps. So they done pretty good job. A rather historical, in the vein of the historical job, pretty much, as far as I can tell right now. So did a good job so far. Let's see. So I moved this here, and then we have the possibility to move on the Union side. I could manage the flank by going here with sickles, and then could go here, and that will split them. And then I could go and block early, and go early will be blocked, and then Howard would well, Buford is pretty much over if he retreats, so that's that in this case. So why not? Let's move sickles here. Let's see what happens. He's still on the road there. Okay. So I don't know. Confederates will move here to put pressure on Buford. Let's see. We can move Howard over here. Is it wise to leave the network? No, it's not that wise. Well, let's see. Well, we could do this. We don't have the wasting our... Oh, that's... I don't know. If I do that and early moves here, he is blocked. If early and if early moves here, then these two are blocked, and we don't have the advantage for that. So we could just we can put him here, and these two are blocked, and this is flipped, and then the Confederates, they can move with those two because they're in zone of control, and they move here and everything stops. And we have one possibility, we have one other move. You don't have to roll a die, you have two moves. Oh, let's check. So we have movement phase. Let's see. So after the call, the Confederate player passes. The other players roll one die and add one for each friendly unit that is not in an enemy zone of control or at the intended map. Oh, so we have two units not in zone of control. We have these two plus one means no, so plus one. So 2 plus the roll die. We have 7 moves. So we'll need a lot less than that. So we move the one here and the one here. These are 2 moves. That's about it. So we have reached the attack phase, and now the Confederates will attack. Of course, the attack will take place here because there's a good chance to dislodge Buford's cavalry there and possibly blow it, destroy it, or have it been blown. So we have on the Confederate side we have the +1 bonus. Where is it? So we have each attacker adds +1 if there are 2 or more non-attacking friendly units in the defender's zone of control. Defender never gets this modifier, so it's +1. +1 for the fact that they are well, who makes the attack? Call Bender is making that. No, let's see. Anderson will make the attack because if he has to retreat, there's no, he has to retreat over there. No, he is the one making attack. So he's making in the event that he has to. No matter. He makes the attack. No, he makes the attack because he can stop over there, or he can stop over there. Whatever. And then we'll still have someone to fight over here. He's the one that makes. He's the one who makes the attack, and these are 2 are supporting. So +1 for 2 or more. And for now, Buford has +1 for its star and +2 for the defensible terrain, so it has +2. But the odds are this was over here. The odds are made equal because the Confederates will spend 1 artillery support point and have artillery support, and Buford can't use artillery support because he's cavalry, so we have +3, 2 for the artillery support, 1 for the let's call it attacker bonus, so friendly unit, non-attacking units aid bonus, and the Buford +1 for the star and +2 for the defensible terrain. So we roll the dice, and we have the Confederates have +3 +4 +3 7, 3 +3 6. So the difference is +1 for the Confederates, and that is a retreat. We have +1 to +2 retreat. If retreat cannot meet all conditions, treat as blown result. Well, since this one is the one attacking, and this is another. If we make enfilade attacks like this is already hindered by the friendly unit, so it cannot retreat like that, and it represents a blown result instead. So blown, we are in a turn 2. Blown result means you place it in the second turn after this one. So we have 1, 2, and this unit can return in the blown unit's phase on that turn. And now the attacker can continue, can move after the attack, can go into the attacks, but I'm not sure if that's really well. We can do that. So I said this was the unit. We can do that. And now we have the Union. Union's turn to attack. Let's see. Well, Reynolds is it's way better for Reynolds to stay put and absorb attacks because he has a +4 in defending but only +2 in attacking, and let's not give early a chance, or Rhodes a chance to break our possible +1 modifier. So we have an attack. Let's see who attacks. Let's see, maybe Howard. So we have Howard attacking, aided by two non-attacking friendly units, so it's +1. Rhodes defends with +3. Now we use artillery support, so the Confederates use 1 and the Union uses 1, and we have an artillery duel. Let's see who wins it. So the Confederates win it. They have +2. So this will be a very awkward moment here, because Rhodes defends with +1 for the star, +2 for the terrain, and +2 for the artillery, so +5 against the +1 of the Union. And just a moment. I thought I bumped the die. I checked, I didn't bump the die, so it's 6-3 for the Union, but that's not enough, because the Confederates had +5 +1 advantage. So it's +1 for the star, +2 for the defensible terrain, and +2 for the artillery duel, the artillery support, winning the artillery support. So +5. That's 8-7. It's practically a retreat, and so Howard might do it in a Stan and Laura type of situation. So take it by hand and put it in the tweezers and move them with the tweezers. So we have 1, 2, 3. Howard must move, and then that's it. Well, Rhodes cannot advance after combat because he wasn't the attacker; he was the defender. So that's it. We move to another. Move to the Confederate phase of attack, and let's see. The Confederates could attempt to dislodge Reynolds and then really clear the road, or one of those two can attack Slocum, which is, I believe, right now the best solution, because they have the advantage. Let's see, maybe early, because he has a +1 advantage for his star. So early attack Slocum. Let's see. For the Confederates, I'm tempted not to use the artillery point, because I might need it later. But given that it's +1 advantage, but if they use it's +1 advantage, a net +1 advantage for them. Let's see. So we both sides use the artillery support marker, so, and expend 1 artillery point. So let's see, it's an artillery duel. It's a tie, so nobody uses artillery. That's a point each lost. Well, maybe not lost, completely lost for the Confederates, because they negate the artillery of the Union, which is sensibly stronger. So we have +1 for the Confederates, and then we have the attack. It's a tie, nothing happens. So it's +1, 5, nothing happens. It's a stalemate. So back to the Union. Let's see. Well, could... Wait, why is Howard over there? I may have made a mistake. Why is Howard over there flipped on the battle side? Was there a unit over there? I don't know. Maybe it should have been flipped. Nah, it's too late now. So it's a rather big mistake from my part. But hey. So you could attempt an attack on early because he's out in the open terrain. I might just do that. And then hope to repulse him over there. That would be a nice... Well, Rhodes cannot retreat because he's in zone of influence of these units. So I believe, let's see the retreat. Each got a zone of control. It's not about the zone of influence, so they can retreat. So let's see. It's a bit risky, but Slocum attacks early. They both use artillery. Let's see, the artillery duel is won by the Confederates, so early has +3 to 0 from Slocum. And yes, so it's +3, 9 to 2, it's more than 5. Slocum is eliminated, so that was a very, very bad move. Put the eliminated unit over there. That was a bad move, so don't do this at home. Then the Confederate players attack. Well, we could have Sickles or Reynolds. Let's see, Rhodes attacking Sickles, maybe +1 to +2. Maybe using artillery. Only the artillery points are dwindling on the Confederate side, or you can use one of those two. Well, it's either that or that. Let's go with this. So Rhodes attacks Sickles. It's a +1 to +2. They'll use artillery point each, because why not? Let's see the duel. So Confederates win the artillery duel. So they have a +1, +2, +3, and Sickles defends with a +2. So we'll have to see. So it's 5 +2, 5 to 5. It's a stalemate. So we go back to Confederate. Well, I think the Confederates with my blunder here. I don't know why Howard is. Oh, I know why. I'm so stupid. He was retreating. Yeah, I forgot about it. He retreated from here. That's why he's over there. Yeah, I'm a moron. Okay, so that's it. Yeah, I think it's best for the Confederates to make a pass right now and see. Well, we are looking at a possible 8 attacks maximum, because we have 2 units which are not in the zone of control of enemy units. These 3 are. So I have 2 units. Well, I believe. Let me check. How many attacks? If it's like I don't really recall. If it's like. So I have pass. Once a player passes, you cannot longer declare any attacks for the remainder of the attack phase. Although they still defend. Okay. So After the first pass, the opposing player rolls a die. The result establishes the maximum number of effects that they can make for the remainder of attack phase, or you can pass earlier than the attack phase. Oh, so no, it's not +2. It's not like in the movement. You have, well, we have a maximum of 6 attacks. So the Confederate player passes. Let's see. The Confederate player hopes for a 6, and the Union player hopes for a 0. Oh, of course, there's no 0. Hopes for a 1. In the best case scenario, it's a 1. Okay, so we have one more attack. That was a risky gamble, but what attack should the Confederate player do? Well, given that these two units impact in from a strategic, no, not strategic, from a operational maybe point of view, much in the same way. They have the zone of control on this road, so it's either of them. But since they both are on defensible terrain, I believe the less risk incurred by the attack is on this one, because he doesn't, this unit doesn't have other bonuses, save for the +2. This one has a +2, so we have, and then he could win the artillery duel and have a +6 per total. So that's bad for the attacker. So the best way, as I can see it, maybe I'm mistaken, maybe I'm not, is this one. So it has a +2, this one has a +1, and of course we'll risk an artillery point, and the Union does the same. Then we'll have an artillery duel. That's a tie, nobody uses anything, so +1, +2, and we'll see the result. It's a tie, so it's actually, so we have a we have a 4 to a 3, and it's actually a retreat for the Confederate player. So the Confederate player goes, well, he cannot go that way. That means it's eliminated. Oh no, it's not eliminated. It means it's a blown result. Can he do this? So, well, if we can interpret that every hex should be farther away, so this hex is the same distance away from this. No, so we have, so this is 1 hex away from this one. This is 2 hex away. Hex is 2 hexes away from. So I believe he can do this. That's 2 hexes away. 2 hexes away, either way. So I can do that. But then, so could have Howard maybe. Maybe I screwed up. So you can do this, and then this is the first hex he enters, and then he could do this perhaps, and stop there. That's 1, 2, so 1, 2, 3. If you can do this, it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So either of these hexes could do it. So maybe they could do that. Maybe we could have done it with Howard as well. So, or maybe not. No. It's no use crying over spilled milk. So that's about it. This ends the second turn. We go to end phase. That was the last attack possible. Per the rule of throwing the dice after 1 passes, and then we go to the next turn. Put it here. So this second day in the morning. Well, we have the placing of the HQ. could put it 3 hexes away, not in a enemy zone of influence, so we could put Lee over here, so as to be more on this side, or we can put him here and force the battle to come in a more southern position, as it historically went, because they kept trying to go around, and the Union gave way and established positions on this series of ridges. They even wrote here is round top over here and little round top over here, so famous parts of the Gettysburg battle. And then I believe we have the Cemetery Ridge, and the, I don't know, peach orchard over here in the middle somewhere. As I've seen in my admittedly not many iterations of this war game, my not so many plays of this war game, I've seen that the battle constantly focuses on this side, so I haven't gotten to I don't know, go on the southerly part of the battlefield, but that's mainly because I believe my choice to put the HQ marker here, where maybe if you put the marker over here, then the other units are more I don't know, are forced, the other Confederate units are forced to come on this side and not going around there and create a continuous front over there or something like that. But I believe that the idea that all reinforcements come from this part and not from this part, so this M is virtually unused as a reinforcement area. If you could use that as a reinforcement area, maybe there's more incentive to go to this place and try to outflank the Union player on the left flank or something like that. But maybe it's my perniciousness in placing. Maybe in my solo plays I'm more lazy, and I usually place the Confederate HQ in this area, so those units are drawn over here, and these units tend to steamroll the positions over here. Maybe that's a fault of mine. Maybe I should fan them out. Let's see. Maybe we'll try it now. So we have, like I said, the HQ placement. So we could put it. We have 3 hexes from a unit, but it can be in a unit's zone of influence, I believe. Yes, not in an enemy unit's zone of control or influence. So clearly these hexes are prohibited. So over here we have 3 hexes from here to about here. That's okay. But if we put them here, if we put the HQ here, let's see, where reinforcements will come in the A box, 2 in the A, not box, hex, and 1 in the E, so 1 comes from there. If I put it over here, it has to rush towards the HQ. So that's what I was that's what I meant for when I said perniciousness, because it's this area here is covers well all sectors. but then again it means that it's easily defensible from the Union point of view. So I'll have to make a choice. Again, your choice. You can put it even here, and then we'll see. Then everything is in range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, E is in range. And if I put it over here, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's well within range. But let's see if we can do this. Okay, I put this the HQ here. The Union player doesn't really need to change the HQ right now because it's not Minister something, and yeah, we're all in range. But the situation is rapidly developing into a little problem for the Union. Well, we'll see. Now next it's the third turn, so we have well, we don't have returning blown units yet, but we have to put Brandon's sharpshooters, so we have to put it in an empty hex in a friendly zone of control. So we should put them somewhere. They represent a fixed zone of control. The hex in which this is not a unit. You put the hex. You put it in a hex, like so, and this hex represents a zone of control. Well, it's not that important when you put it, because this is already a zone of control. But if you're forced to retreat or you want to move out of there, that point remains a zone of hex of zone of control. So it stops movements, and it's a good blocking method for rapidly advancing units, because the sharpshooters are force multiplier, and extra precautions must be made and stuff like that. So I could really put it this over here, because in the event that I have to retreat, at least the road is blocked over there. Or maybe even here. Last chance to be outflanked, maybe. So then we have march formation. So every unit that's not in the zone of influence of an enemy unit is flipped. So we have this isn't. So this is flipped, and this is flipped. Those are in zone of control and zone of influence, so they stay the same. That's a zone of influence, and those are in zone of control. So that's about it. That's in the zone of influence. Okay, then we have those that are in battle formation. That's not the case. Well, those remain in battle formation. And then we have movement, and that's the Confederate players. Then we have the first one, McClaws from Longstreet's corps, comes from A one. So that's if we use road movement, that will be half a point. But will we use the road movement? It will be interesting if we can use one. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 and flip. So maybe we can try to go over here, create a continuous front. We should to push them. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 and flip. Yes, so this is 1. Then the Union player has the reinforcement coming in. Hancock second corps. Focus. Hancock's second corps coming in on third turn on K. So we have here, and we rush them using road movement 1, 2, 3 and 4. Let's see if we can plug the gap, and then next it's Hood division that comes on A again, and we could use 1, 2, 3 and 4, and you no, so 1, 3 and 4, so not to enter a zone of influence except on the last part of the journey. So it's flipped, and then we have next movement from the Confederate player. We can move Howard or Hancock. Well, I'll have to stop. Early. Or we could move. I will have to stop early, but we have to do it with maybe Sickles there. And assume this position, and then early is stopped, and Rhodes can only move here. And then then we have Johnson coming here. So we need someone here to block the road. But we'll have to stop early as well. So maybe we could move. They're both starred, so we have to move him. We have 1 and 2, and then flip, and then we'll see from there. Then Hood moves around here and stops. That way Reynolds in a bit of a pickle. And then we see, then we have Confederate movement and move Howard. 1, 2, 3 and stop. Yeah, maybe. And then we'll see what's what. McLaws can move and stops. And then let's see. Sickles is blocked. Howard can move and Hancock can move. Oh no, that was an error. I made an error. I had to bring Johnson first, so no. It was stupid of me. So I'm not putting pieces back, but I should have brought in Johnson before I moved, I believe, Hood and McLeod. But no, that's another. So we have Johnston here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh no, we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. And it's still in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's still in the range of Lee. Oh no, that's stupid. Why? No, I can't do this here. Johnson comes from there, so we have 1, 2, 1, 2, and stop. 2.5 and stop. and he's in range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in range of. So that's it. And then we'll have to see what's what. No, I don't want. Well, there's a slim chance, but I could maybe if I push. No, if I push him here, that's some rather big gap here. No, that's okay. So I'm not gonna move. Well, the Confederate player, the Union player passes. So we have 1 unit not in zone of control, 2 units, 3 units, 4 units not in zone of control. 4 plus 1, it's 5 moves. So we have 5 moves remaining. Let's see. So the first move is bring Johnson closer. Well, either I do that or either I do that. It's the same. So I might just well push him in the fray, because if I move him from here to here, I have to stop moving altogether. Or am I remembering it wrong? So oh no, it's about march formation. Oh, it's a move. So if you are in march formation in an enemy zone of control, zone of influence, and move to another hex in an enemy zone of influence, you flip to battle formation. But he's already in battle formation, so technically he could go over here and attempt a flanking maneuver, which he does. So we have 4 moves remaining. Then he could do this again. 3 moves remaining. Could do this and bringing this closer. So this is the 2 moves. He might have done that. So he cuts the retreat for this one, for Hancock. So that was the previous move. I'm sorry if I played this. I usually don't do this, but I'm doing it on the fly. Of course, opposed or unopposed, I'm a stickler for rules, and if I do something, I keep it that way. But and now I make an exception to see what's what. So we have 2 moves remaining. This is the 1 move and another move remaining. So this is how it is. And then we move to attack phase. We have the Confederates. Let's see, is this in range? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it's in range. Okay. Now, let's see. So first, we need to dislodge Reynolds from the Confederate point of view. This is more doable now because he has a +2/+2 advantage, +2/+2 bonus, but if Hood attacks, he has a +2 and a +1 for the 2 non-attacking friendly non-attacking units. So it has a +3 against a +4, which is more manageable. Plus an artillery duel, 1 point, 1 point. Both sides use this, so we have the Confederates win, so we have +2, we have +3, +5, +4, so it's a net +1 for the Confederates, and we'll see. Well, the Union wins, so Reynolds successfully defends. He has a he has a 8 overall, and then 5 + 2 is 7. So could is forced to retreat. Yes, so he can retreat. Well, he can do this and do this because he's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That is the same. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's the same distance, and the second hex is a defensible one, so he could do this and stop, and then Reynolds is good where he is favored in defense. Let's see, I don't have much choice, and there's a big menace to the flank, the right flank over here, so maybe Hancock will attack Johnson. Both will use artillery. There's no sparing of artillery in this game, but the Confederates are almost out of it, and I have to hurry up because my battery will run out. So we have no one uses artillery, it's a tie. And then Hancock has a +1 because he has 1 star. Then it's 3 + 2, so Hancock must it's a +1, so it's a retreat. Hancock must retreat over there, or maybe here, but he cannot enter there because it's zone of influence. Let's see. Oh no, it's not about zone of influence. Why am I remembering this? It's all about the zone of control. So he technically can do this. So you have to go, if you go here and then here, and then you can stop because it's, so you have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's equally away from this, so technically can do this and then this, and you can stop because it's defensible terrain, and then he moves in. No, he doesn't move in because he was the defender and the attacker. Okay, so that's it. And then the Confederates will attack. You can attack. Sickles is here, but you have a +2. If you don't have another +1, would be nice if we had another unit there, but you have +2 for the attack for the stars and +2 for defense. And because it's a good opportunity, risk another point. And we have an artillery duel. Ooh. So the duel is won by the Union, and because it's a 6, we have an exploded caisson for the Confederates. So they lose all the artillery. So it's a +2 for the Union, which is nice. It's +4 for the Union versus +2 for the Confederate, and then we have the roll-off, and it's won by the Union. 6 + 4 is 10. 5 + 2, 7. So it's a 3 net, which is a +2 for the Union, and it's a blown result. So McLaws is blown and is put 2 turns forward. Can return on the next day, the AM turn. And that's it. There's no advance after because the attacker was blown. Then we move to the Confederates. Let's see. You could attempt Howard. Let's see, that's a gamble. Howard could attack early. Let's risk it. Howard attacks early. Early has a +1. Howard uses 1 point to gain an automatical +2 because early doesn't have any more points. So we have a +2 +1. 6, 6 to 5. So it's a retreat, and Howard must retreat 1, 2, and around this one. So there's no retreat after battle. So I switched cameras. Well, that was Howard being pushed back, and now it's the Confederate turn, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not messing this up. To attack. Well, Reynolds is a bit of a hindrance over there, so perhaps an attack from Heath or Anderson, perhaps Anderson. So Anderson attacks. They don't have artillery support, but Reynolds will use that. So it has +2, +2, +2 for the +6. Let's see. There's well, there's 7 to 6 for the Union, barely. So we have a retreat 1, 2, and 3 maybe. That's a retreat result for the Confederates. And then we have well, Sickles might be in the position to attack, or Reynolds to push Heath back. Well, Sickles would be very nasty if he were to retreat, because he can't retreat. He could around here, but that would weaken the line over there. Let's try Reynolds as a +2, +2, +2 for the stars, and +2 for the Heath has a +2 for the defense. I'll use some artillery. That's a +4 for Reynolds, +2, and so it's a 6 to 5 for Reynolds. For Confederates, Reynolds must retreat. So let's see. We'll bring him 1, 2, 3 over here, and that's about it for the Confederates. Well, for the Union, Confederates should continue, and will attack Sickles. We'll have to push them around here. Well, we have a +1 for Rhodes, and a +2 for Sickles for defending. No artillery for the Confederates. Sickles will use artillery, so we'll have +4, +1. So Confederates have 3. The Union has 7, so that's +3 to +4 blown. So we have Rhodes put on the blown track. So that's about it. The Union passes. Confederates pass as well, because they don't have anyone in the zone of control. So we have end turn, and then we move the turn here. Then Buford is to be placed. He's blown. His blown unit return. Starting with the Confederate player, maximum 2 units that return can return to the map. Empty hex adjacent to a friendly HQ that is not in an enemy zone of control or influence. So we have an empty hex, but we cannot place him, cannot place Buford. Oh well, no, you have placing HQs first. Well, let's see if we can maneuver that. So you have to put in adjacent to a unit in a where empty hex. 3 hexes of a friendly unit that is not in an enemy zone of control or influence. So within 3 hexes, let's see, we have an A and a D, so they will come from there and there. Let's see, somewhere, I don't know, somewhere here maybe. So we can put Lee here. That's not in the zone of influence of anyone in the enemy area, so that could be okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. CD 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, it's not good. Maybe more around here. Oh, that's in an enemy over there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's within range, so everything about here is within range, so it's quite okay. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's the limit of the HQ. Okay, and now you can put him over here maybe, and then if you put him here, put Buford here. He's not in the zone of influence of any unit. So that's the blown return blown units. We should put Brandon sharpshooters in another place, perhaps. We can put them somewhere. You have to put them adjacent to a unit in an empty hex, so maybe there. I don't know. That will at least, if and push back, at least that will block the line of communication and stop units over there. And then we have the march formation. So put units which are not in the zone of influence back on march formation. Those are, this isn't, this isn't, so it's there. This isn't, so it's there. Those two are, this isn't, and that's about it. Then we have battle formation, so there. It's already done. Then exiting zone of control, but that's not the case. So their units were able to retreat, but it's not the case. And then we have this is the 4th turn, so we have only one unit returning. It's Sykes, and he returns. He enters from E, not returns. He enters from the E side. But first we have the Confederates, which will move. So let's see. Hood could move along the road. Don't know if that's. So he comes to here, and then he is flipped, and then we should enter this too. So we have 1 point, 2 points, 3 points by road, and then one more, and it flips because he is in the zone of influence of this unit. And then we have some movement over Oh no. Oh yeah, that's okay. We have a movement from there, so that's not on the road. Oh, it is on the road, but on this one, so we don't use road movement. We have 1, 2, and then flip. And then we have, let's see, we can use let's use Buford for another stuff later. We can use why? Well, if he moves there, he can move again. If he moves here, he's blocked. Either way, I'm blocking this line, so it's okay. Establishing the line here, and I have the advantage. But if decisions. So if I move, oh, that's okay. This line is fine by me. I have problems with. That would be nice if I could push them. If I go here, I block him here, so he cannot move, and there will be a battle. Let's see. So he's automatically flipped, and now these two are blocked, and this. Well, wait a minute. Why haven't I flipped those two? It's because that's confusing. I should have flipped those. Yes, I made a mistake. I should have flipped those two units as well, because Brandon Sharpshooters is not a unit, it's a marker, so it creates a zone of control only in its hex and doesn't have a zone of control or a zone of influence. So those two are flipped as well. And then means that we can move them. So I'll go over there, and they are flipped, and then the Confederates move. Sykes is blocked. And those two can, oh, earthquake, those two can move, and all those can move, but I'm gonna leave them there. Oh, maybe someone should go and, I don't know, block early. Yeah, but then I lose the tricky. Then I lose the advantage over here. But then he won't be attacked from Hancock. Maybe Howard if I put him here. Either way, he will come closer. Maybe Sykes can do it. So, well, no, I need Sykes to. Yeah, that's tricky. So I'll leave it that way. Let's see how many units the Confederates have that are not in the zone of control. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 plus. Oh, that's a maximum of 10 moves. Minimum 5 moves and maximum 5 moves. 1, need 1, 2, 1, 4, 5. Yeah, I could move Buford, so 1, 2, 4, and then 1, 2, 3. So no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to go around. And then again, 1, 2, 3, 4, flip. That's the same. I won't get there in time. And this is blocked. I can pass, but I can extend the line. So, we could do this. So we could move Sykes over here, and then block early. If they move here, they're already blocked. They could, I'll flip it. So then the Confederates could move here or here with this unit, probably here, and then I'll move this over. And then use it there. Those are blocked. And then shift this, and this is flipped. And then Hood could move there, and do this. And that's a tricky one. That was stupid move over there. Very, very stupid. These are blocked. Buford is in. Oh, but I can do this. 1, 2, 3, flip. And then on later phase you can go here. Don't know what that will do, but that was stupid of me to because if you go here, well, I could do this. I could do this. And then if he advances, we'll have something to stop with, whatever. So this is it. And then we have movement towards this one. Flip. The Union passes. We'll see. We have 1 unit not in a zone of control. 6 moves. So we go 1, and that's it. Okay, so now we have the attack phase. It's the Confederates from attacking. Let's see if there is some advantage somewhere. Maybe Hood versus Reynolds. And then we'll see from there. That's 2 plus 2 plus 4 plus nothing to 3. Plus 1 plus 2. Or maybe there. That's not so big of a difference. So we have early attacking sickles. We'll use 1 artillery for the Union. So that's plus 1 plus 4. It's 6 to 10. That's a difference of 4. And early is blown. Let's put over there. Okay, so that was the Confederate. Now the Union. What should the Union do? Well, have a good advantage, and they're holding this position, so that will be for the next turn. We have this one. We have 1 artillery, and so I have +1 here, and a +2 for the last artillery point of the Union, so that's +3 against 0. And let's see, oh yeah, that's 5-4. Sykes is retreating. 1, 2. Second one is defensible terrain, so could do that. Okay, and he advances after the attack. So this was a wasted opportunity for the Union. Then the Confederates will try something. There's no artillery, so let's see, over there or over here. There's no advantage. No attacker's advantage. So we have, let's see, you have Hood versus Reynolds. You have a +2, +4. So there's a net 2 for the Union. 3-4. Reynolds must retreat. So it goes like this. Hood advances. Then it was a stupid idea. But okay. Let's see. So we have. Let's see if we can try to make Hancock repulse Pender a +1. Pender is not in a defense, not in a defensible terrain. Oh, that's some amazing dice over there. So I have 5-2. That's a blown result. So Hancock is blown, and it wasn't an attack, so you don't have advance. It was defensive move for the Confederates. Now the Confederates are moving in. Well, let's see, maybe Hood trying to scatter the cavalry, or Howard. Let's see, Howard is more pressing. No. Pender against Howard. No bonuses. It's a +2 for the Union. Retreat. So Pender retreats. 1, 2. Okay. I know you can retreat from. Well, of course you can. It's the zone of control. Okay, so now it's the Confederates' turn. The things are grim, but hope is still there. Let's see if Sykes can push back Anderson. That's no bonus. It's all about die roll. 3-2. So Sickles retreats. 1. You have to avoid 2, 3, I believe. So Johnson's a bit of a pickle over there. So that was not a good idea. But there's no movement. Should not be stopped. Okay. Let's see further. The Confederates stopped. No. The Union was the one who attacked. So Confederates can make attacks. And let's see. Hood trying to dislodge. No. The best way is over here, because it's +2 there. It's only +1 here. Let's Hood tries to dislodge Buford. +2 to +1. No additional bonus. So it's a +1. it's a 6 to a 6. That's a stalemate, and that's about it. The Confederate passes, not the Confederate, the Union, sorry. And the Confederates have a number of further attacks, 3 attacks. So let's see. Well, Hood tries again. First attack. That's a 4 to a 7. That's a blown result. So Hood is blown. That didn't went well for the Confederates. And then we have two more attacks. Let's see. Heath tries an attack, +2 against Howard, and that's a that's a 2 plus 2 against 6. That's another blown result, so Heath is blown away. And that's about it. And that ends the end phase, and then we get to the 5th turn, and we have to see. So we should one should reposition the HQ, but that HQ is okay over there, and I'm fairly okay with this HQ. Maybe over here again. Then view for this over here. Then return blown units. The 2 blown units are returned over here and over. No, here maybe no. We'll have to leave room to enter the other reinforcements, Pickett and Stuart's cavalry. So this is the blown units turn. Return we reposition Brenda sharpshooters, but it's okay over there, I believe, or maybe it's okay over there, whatever. And then we have march formation for those who are not in the zone of influence, but so these are not, those are. Make sure not to consider this as a unit. So this is, those are, this isn't. Okay, so those are flipped. And then we have battle formation exiting zone of control, but we don't have such instances. And then we have a first unit to enter. We have here marching 1, 2. I won't be using 3, 4. Won't be using road movement. Then the Union has Sedgwick at I and Pleasanton at H. So H is over here. Let's see, 5H. So Pleasanton is here, and then Sedgwick comes in at 5I. So it's over here. Let's see. First we'll bring in 1, 2, 3. Bring in Sedgwick over here, and then flip him. And then we have another unit for the Confederates, Stuart's cavalry coming in from D over here. So we have 1, 2, and then we flip him. And then we move to the Union. Pleasanton comes in from H. We could use 1, then flip. And we can use 1, 2, 3. cavalry battle. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it's better to stop. Make a stopping over here, and then we flip him, and then we'll see what's what. Next, the Confederates. Let's see. So, we'll close in. We have 1. There could be a traffic jam over there, so let's see. 1, 2, and 3. Pick a charge. Okay, and then Buford can come here and block him, and then we could have 1, 2, and flip, and then we can move Reynolds over here and flip him. And then Stuart can come here and be blocked, and then Sykes can move here and be blocked, block him as well, and then he could move again over here and be blocked, and then we can go over here and again block, and then we can move over here and flip, and then we can move Reynolds over here. Not a very wise decision, but let's see. Not the Reynolds, or maybe no. Oh, it's okay. Move in here, and it's all blocked, and then we have this one coming here and stopped over there. Everything is blocked on the Confederate side, and then this one moves over here, and there another round of battle ensures, but I'm again out of space right now. Well, before another round of battle, I made 2 moves after I said the Confederate side is blocked. I meant the Union side. Kept making this stupid mistake, but all the Union units are blocked. I made 2 moves after they're blocked, and technically they've passed, so I can see technically they have 2 more moves. The Confederates have 2 more moves, and we should move. I could move McClose. Well, we move him here as the first move, and then the second move is Anderson here. And that concludes the movement phase. And now we have a bunch of battles, beginning with the Confederate side. So we have a battle here against Howard, using McClose, and that will be +2 for and +1 for 2 or more non-attacking friendly units. So that's 3, so 2 + 1, 3, against +2 for Howard, and that's 7 plus, so it's 5 + 2 and 3 + 3. That's 6 to 7. That's +1 for net +1 for the Union. So McLaws 3 plus 1, yes, 3 plus 3 against 2, 8 against 7 against 6. So it's a retreat for McLaws. 1, 2, and 3, or 3 perhaps. So that's a retreat. Then the Union can attack and will attack Johnston here, and will use Reynolds because he has a +2, +1 for the +1 for the 2+. There are 3 of them, but there's only +1 for the whole setup. So we have a +3 against nothing on Johnson's side. So we have 7 to 4, which is 3 to +3 +4, which is a blown result. But since we are in the 5th turn, and on the 5th and 6th turn every blown result is a destroyed result, Johnson is destroyed. So we have a destroyed unit, and then we can make Reynolds go further. Next, let me see, we could make an attack with Rhodes against Howard, and we have a +1 against a +2, no further, so we have a 3 against a 7, and that's another blown result. So it's +4, it's blown, but since this is the 5th turn, we have another destroyed unit. Now we could see, it's a bit tricky, but is it worth the risk or not? Let's risk it. So we have Sykes attacking Stewart. Stewart has +1. Sickles has nothing, and that's a retreat. So Sickles retreats, and then the Confederate forces must attack to try to clear the area, but I don't know if it's at this time really worth it, because I don't know if you have enough forces. There's no reinforcements, but you could get 2 blown units next turn. I don't know if they have the enough power to dislodge this, so I think the strategic part of the victory is getting away, and they don't stand very well from the destroyed units point of view. But let's see. So if we attack, let's see if there's a +2 advantage for Howard. Maybe not. And then we still have to let's risk it. So let's risk it. We had Pickett's charge. It was a rather futile attack, but let's see. So if we attack with Pender against Howard, Howard has a +2 for the defense. Well, no, yeah. So it's 6 against 2. It's a +2, so Howard must retreat. And he has to, there's another earthquake. He has to go 1, 2, 3, but can't go over there. 1, 2, 3 perhaps, and 3 hexes. So it is 3 hexes away from that. So you can go 1. So that's 2 hexes away. 2. Oh, you have to go 3 hexes or 3 hexes away from that. 3 hexes away is just 2 hexes. Let's see. So move unit 3 hexes away from the winner. The treating unit may never enter a hex with an friend. If the second hex entered a defensible defensible terrain. So Howard could in fact go over here because that's 3 hexes away from the winner, and then he can move into the vacated hex, and we'll do so because it's better defended over there. And so that's that. Right now the Union controls the roads to J and K, so it's okay, they can't attack. Buford is the only one who can attack. And then let me see. Well, the Union could say pass right now, and then we see how many attacks the Confederates have. 1 more attack, so of course Buford will be the one attacked. Doesn't really matter right now where, but you could say that this is more important to stay here. So let's see. Pickett's charge. Pickett attacks Buford. Buford defends with 3. There's a slim chance. +3 slim chance for Pickett to do that, but that's historically the case. Oh, and it's a disaster. So we have 9 to 1, and that means that Pickett's division is destroyed. So that's that. We have the end phase, and then we move the game turn to the 6th place, and we have HQ placement. We have to put the HQ somewhere where it's not in it's not in the zone of influence. That's not possible. I'll put it over here. It's closer to the battlefield, and then Meade can stay there. No, you have to take it there from there and then put it somewhere adjacent to a unit and not in the zone of influence or control or something, or something like that. Perhaps. Check the control or influence, yes. So that's that. And then we have the returning blown units. So we have 3 returning blown units for the Confederates, and if there are 3, if there are more than 2, then the opponent, so the Union, chooses which one to enter. So of course this one won't enter because it's more powerful, and that is destroyed. So these 2 enter and are placed adjacent to the HQ. Well, somewhere there. No, that's about it, and then we have a blown unit for the union. Put it over there, and now it's more like the historical outcome. The union is pushed steadily to the south but maintains position. And then we have Brandon's sharpshooters. We'll move away, we'll put them over here. Let's see if we can do that. Blown unit. Have to check if it's okay. Brandon sharpshooters. Friendly unit zone of control. Enemy zone of control has no impact, so it's okay. It's okay to be there. Then we have march formation. Return to march formation. Every unit that's not in the zone of control of some other unit or zone of influence. Those no, not. Oh, have to check. March formation. Each unit that is more than 2 hexes away from an enemy, not in an enemy zone of influence. Okay, so that's that. That stays right there. Those stay right there. This is flipped. And Sykes is flipped. And Sedgwick is flipped. And now we go to battle formation, then exiting zone of control. So Buford could exit, and do it like a retreat. 3 hexes away from the winner, retreating you may never enter a hex with. Okay, so the second hex entered, so I have 1. Okay, he can retreat over there. Why not? I don't want to lose him. And then that's about it. So then we have movement phase, and starting with the Confederate player, we'll move over here and stop. And then we move 1. Oh, well, we have 1 and stop, and then this one will go over here and block him so they can't move. And then we have 1 and 2. Wait, so that moved over there, that over there, and now Sykes Sedgwick can go around and stop. And then that one can go over there and stop. And then there are no more incentive to attack from the side of the Union. You only have to defend this. So you can go right over here and stop, and then those can go over here and stop, and no, Howard is pretty much blocked over there, so I can bring those around. 1, 2, 3, and stop, and then I think, we can, this should have been flipped, and we can bring This 1, 2 and stop. 1, 2 and stop. And then this one should go here and stop. And I believe the Confederate can go over here, and then this one should be 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 2 points. 5 and flip, and this one should go here, and that one will go here and stop. That one will go here, and that will go here. And then the Confederates. I'll bring this one here. For the sake of the battle, maybe, perhaps. But no, I'm sticking to this. The Confederates will pass. They have the advantage here. Why the Union, with the Union meant, is will pass. They have the advantage. The Confederates have one not in the zone of one unit not in the zone of control of other units. So 1 plus 3. We have 4 movements left. 1, 2, 3, and stop. So this is it. Then we move into attack phase, and in the attack phase we have the Confederates will attack Howard with plus Early will attack Howard with a 1 plus 1 for the allied attack bonus. So this is the Confederate band. This is the, so it's a stalemate, because we have plus 2 to the Confederate, plus 1, 3 and 3, stalemate. And then we move to the Union. Let's see, which one should we go with? There's not much. I could go with Reynolds against Early, but that's a bit of a problem. I should have moved that over. The Confederate, so the Union shall pass. None shall pass, but the Union. So let's see how many attacks does the Confederacy have. 5 attacks. This will be interesting. Well, first another attack from Early against Howard, plus 1 for the allied attack, the whatchamacallit, non-attacking friendly units in help. So we have 7 to 2. That means Howard is destroyed, and then Early moves in. Then this was the first attack from the 5. Let's put the marker here. So we have 4 attacks from the Confederates. Well, let's see. McLaws attacking Reynolds, I guess. Why not? Pleasanton can. Well, let's see if it's a bit less riskier to attack Pleasanton. So we have 2 against 1. So that's a 6 against 3. That's a blown result, but since it's the last turn, Pleasanton walks away, so it's destroyed. walks away. It's destroyed. So we have Longstreet could advance over there, and why shouldn't he? But no, it's better not to. Then the next battle is a Stuart against Sedgwick. So we have a +1 against nothing, and it's a 4 against 1. Sedgwick is destroyed as well. That's the third battle, and we have 2 more attacks. Let's see. The last one, it could be the decisive one. Longstreet against Longstreet's Corps, McLaw's division against Reynolds' First Corps. So let's see. It all comes down to this roll, because everything is equal. +2, +2. I could have put Stuart there, but why would I? So it's a blown result for Reynolds, but being the last game turn, it's destroyed. And no, so that we have another attack. That's McLaw's against Sykes, because he moved after combat. So we still have the last attack from the Confederacy, but now it's +2, +3. Let's see if the Union can make up for this. Sykes for 5th Corps has +2 for the defense, and 1 for that 1 star, so it's +3 against +2. Come on, the Union. It could be a tie, and it is a 6-2. It's a stalemate. So we have a very unhistorical, not very unhistorical, slightly unhistorical Confederate victory here, because we have 5 eliminated Union units against 4. This is not a unit, this is a blank sheet. So we have 4 Confederate units, so that it's 1 victory point, 5 victory points to 4 victory points. That's 1 point difference that goes to the Confederate side. Well, of course, I as a Union, so my Union side of the brain could have pushed a bit one of these corps over there, and there could have been more ruckus around there, but that's what you get when you try to play it safe. Well, I believe I read it. So you have the higher VP total wins. Each player receives 1 VP for each eliminated enemy unit. Yes, the Union player wins ties. So if that last battle would have been a tie, the Union would have won tie. So it's very close to the historical outcome of this game. Well, what can I say? I really like this game. Why? Because it has a very small footprint. It's my nowadays, since I've got it and I have a little time for wargaming, it's my go-to game. When I really want to play something and I don't really care what, because despite its simplicity, it gives you enough complicated decision-making situations that you can exercise your wit. I hope your wit is sharper than mine, like you've seen. But that's my usual mumbling into stuff. But I really like the fact that so much can be accomplished with so little. So much can be expressed with so little. I mean, even though many things are very abstracted, like the artillery or the I don't know, the whole frontage marching combat, as you've seen, combat is really simple, but that doesn't mean that it cannot grasp the flavor of the era, the constant trying to outflank the enemy, or quite the opposite, the butchery of full frontal assault, like you've seen. So I really like this. Really like this system. I really like this game. It's small, of course. Now this video is about as big as I don't know. It might be longer than the Titanic or something like that. But it usually doesn't take that much. I can play it under an hour because I don't have to explain it and stuff like that. Yeah. Sorry for the constant I don't know, the constant breaking in the constant grasping for words or something like that. English is not my first language, as you probably have noticed. And sorry for the constant mixing up. I really made a stupid ass of myself, constantly saying that these units are Confederate, the Confederacies. These are Union units, and those are Confederate units. But yeah, I hope that I really didn't spoil the enjoyment of this game. If you had the slightest desire to play this game after this video, I believe my job is very well done. And if you're not off put by this video to continue to play this game, then my job is doubly so done. Anyhow, thank you for watching. Goodbye.